All right, what is the reference angle? Oh yeah, here. This is what I showed you guys yesterday. Yesterday, if we graph something like it went all the way to there, then we would draw this triangle, and I was telling you guys right here is your reference angle. The reference angles are always positive, and they're always between 0 and 90 degrees. So I guess I could write this. Theta. Okay, so for this one right here, sorry, I have to redo this, guys. I accidentally hit pause. So for 150 degrees, which quadrant is that in? That's in the second quadrant. You know because it's not more than 180, but you know that it's more than 90. So it's in the second quadrant. And to find this angle right here, you have to go 180 minus 150. So you get 30 degrees for your reference angle. Okay, what about the 235? This one's for you, Hubbard. Okay, 235. Which quadrant is it in? It's in 3. It's more than 180, but it's less than 270. 270 would be all the way right there, but it's more than 180 degrees. Okay, so because it's in the third quadrant, what do I have to subtract to find this angle right here? I got to take away this, and what is this? 180. That's 180. So I'm going to go 180, and I'm going to take away. Oh wait, actually I'm going to go the other way. 235, right? And I subtract. So what do I get? 55. I get 55. Okay, now, guys, these reference angles are valuable because they reference all the angles in the first quadrant. That's why it's called a reference angle. It's referencing those angles. And that's what we're looking for. Kind of like if you look at the unit circle and you look at the reference angles there, those coordinates relate to the coordinates of the reference angle relate to the coordinates in the first quadrant. Okay, so for 300 degrees, that's going to take us all the way into the fourth quadrant. And so in order to find this angle right here, we're going to have to go 360 minus that angle, which is 300. So what do I get? 60 degrees. Okay, now somebody asked me a great question. They said, what if you have to go around like 3 times? Okay, so let's do an example of that. So what if it was, what if theta equaled, I don't know, 600? 600 degrees. Okay, that's going to go around at least once, right? So what's my reference angle going to be? Well, we know that if I go around once, that's going to be 360, right? Okay, now if I go around halfway, what's that going to be? 480. That's going to be 480? And you guys went 360 plus 180, right? Is that what you guys did? And so then when I do that, I get 540. Okay, so that's 540. How much is just a quadrant? What is that? 90. That's 90 degrees. So what is 540 plus 90 degrees? That's 630, right? So if I went all the way there, then I would be at 630. So I don't want to go all the way there, so that means I'm going to stay in this quadrant. So how am I going to find this angle? Okay? Now there's 3 ways I can think of to get that right now. I'm going to do what you guys just said. I'm going to subtract 540. So I'm going to take, because 540 is going to take away all of this, and then I'm going to be left with what I need.
So I subtract 600 from 540 or 540?
No, 600 is bigger. So you're going to go 600 minus 540, and when you subtract that, what do I get? 60 degrees. And so my reference angle is 60 degrees. Okay, let's take a look at radians. Radians is the same thing, except instead of using 180 degrees and 360 degrees, what am I going to be using? Pi and 2 pi. Thanks for the grunt. I love it. All right. So, where is 2 pi over 3?
That is
This is pi over 2, right? Second quadrant. Okay. All right, so this is going to be a reference angle right here. What do I have to subtract? Pi minus what? 2 pi over 3. So this is going to be 3 pi over 3, and I'm left with what?
Pi over 3?
Yep, so that gives me pi over 3. And then we have the next one. Which quadrant is that one going to take me in? I know right away it's going to take me to third. And the reason why I know right away it's going to take me to third is because this number is only one more than my denominator. So I know it's going to take me to the third quadrant. What is going to be my reference angle for this one?
Pi over 4.
Yep, that's what will be pi over 4 after you subtract. So we'll write pi over 4. We would take 5 pi over 4, and we would subtract 1 pi. Now, before we would subtract 180 because we were using degrees, but this time we're in radians, so we're subtracting pi. Okay, the next one, 3 pi over 4. Which quadrant is that one in? Alright, tricked you. That one is definitely in the second. Because this is not more than 1 pi. That is less than 1 pi, because it's 3/4. 3/4 is not more than 1. Okay, so I'm going to take pi, and I'm going to subtract this from that, and I'm going to get pi over 4.
And maybe this, are they allowed the same thing?
Yeah. You know what's neat is if you take the sine of this and you take the sine of this, these answers will be very similar to what you would get if you plug in pi over 4. The only difference is because this is in the, actually, these are both in the second quadrant, and sine is positive in the second quadrant, which we're going to talk about in a second. Now for the last one, which quadrant is that one in? 7 pi over 4. That is the fourth quadrant. 2 pi would equal 8 pi over 4, right? 2 pi would equal 8 pi over 4. This is really close to 8 pi over 4, not quite, but it's almost there. And our reference angle for this one is also going to be pi over 4.